Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And once again, this is the 15-minute chart. You know, today we actually had some price movement to the upside. We almost hit 56 cents. Now we're kind of going sideways once again. And people are still expecting a massive shakeout to happen. They're saying we're going to come down below 40 cents. I'm not quite sold on the idea of that happening yet, because I still think we're going to get some major news around XRP in the very near future that sends XRP skyrocketing. But you know, you gotta expect anything when you're holding XRP. Always expect the unexpected and always be holding XRP. So Simon McLaughlin highlights unrivaled XRP support and transparent reserve strategy of Uphold. Now, when you take a listen to the CEO of Uphold, right, he talks about a lot of things I talked about in the past in other videos. Like, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes at the exchanges. He also talks about how Uphold is in a much better position because they decided to back the XRP community. Take a listen to this.
We saw net deposits into Uphold. We expected to see net outflows, but actually we've consistently seen net inflows, which is pretty interesting, right? And I think it's partly to do with the fact that, you know, for 2 years we've supported the XRP community when all of the other exchanges didn't. So, you know, I think we feel very proud and vindicated to have taken that risk.
So they took the risk by leaving XRP listed on Uphold. And you know, they probably seen exactly what people in the XRP community were saying for years. And they probably felt the same way, that the SEC was not going to win against Ripple in court. And look at it, played out perfectly for Uphold. XRP got clarity.
And I do think that in this climate, people put a huge premium on trust and security and transparency. And Uphold is the only, look, we're not perfect, but we're the only platform that publishes its customer assets and liabilities in real time on a public website. We update that information every 30 seconds, and we've been doing that since 2014. And, you know, all of this is audited by RSM Robson Rhodes, a very well-known audit firm that operates in the US and UK. And we're always 100% reserved, you know. So when you think about it, you may not know this actually, but the genesis story of Uphold is it came out of the 2008 financial crash. That crash was all about, you didn't know what financial institutions were doing with customer money behind the scenes, because banks are inherently opaque and you simply don't know what's happening behind the scenes. And so one of the founding concepts of Uphold was, hey, how about a financial institution that doesn't lend out customer money ever for any reason and publicly displays every 30 seconds the assets and liabilities to which the company is subject? And of course, that fact pattern means that a bank run is impossible on Uphold. You can't have a bank run because all the assets are there.
So you can have a bank run on Uphold because all the assets are there and they're fully transparent at the same time. But did you take notice he doesn't lend out customers' funds? Look what happened with the FTX, using customer funds to buy real estate, things like that. So this video gave me a new respect for Uphold. However, I still never trust any exchange 100%. You always have to keep your crypto safe. But I always liked the idea of the way Uphold stood behind the XRP community, and they get all the respect that I could possibly give. So the SEC is playing checkers. Brad Garlinghouse is playing chess. The request for appeal doesn't change the fact that XRP is not a security. The reason I brought this up once again is there's still people fighting around this. They're saying XRP is never going to hit $1 because they're tied up with the SEC for at least the next 2 years. Let me tell you something. XRP got clarity. We are going to take off very soon on our XRP investment. We're going to see XRP skyrocket in price at some point, and it's not going to take 2 years for that to happen. 3 years, 5 years, massive amount of demand, multi-trillion-dollar problem, XRP. Now take a listen to Brad Garlinghouse at Ripple swell in 2017.
This isn't one of the questions, but I want to proactively comment on something. One of the things I say inside the company is I'm not focused on the price of XRP over 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months. I'm focused on the price of XRP over 3 years and 5 years. I have no qualms saying definitively, if we continue to drive the success we're driving, we're going to drive a massive amount of demand for XRP because we're solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem. These payment flows are obviously very, very large. And to the extent we continue to drive success of signing up more banks, introducing them to how we can solve not just a connectivity question with XCurrent, but a liquidity problem, a multi-trillion-dollar problem around liquidity called XRapid, I'm very confident about that longer arc of time.
So if we were going back to 2017, right, Brad says he's looking at the demand for XRP back then. Then all of a sudden in 2020, the SEC sued Ripple, and we got tied up in that lawsuit for 2.5 years. And I think that whole lawsuit was meant to slow Ripple down. They were growing way too fast, too soon. But now that all of that is cleared up and we got the green light to go forward with XRP, I still think now we're back into the fall timeline, sometime between the fall of this year and the end of next year, because the demand is back for XRP. I addressed that in previous videos. It's up 8x over the year over year. 800%. That's the demand on XRP. So I think we're back on track with Brad's timeline from back in 2017. So Ripple and Stellar forge new path with Swift integration. Now we know Ripple and Swift somehow, someway have to work together, or Swift will become irrelevant in the future. So Ripple, through its advanced RippleNet and its efficient settlement system based on the XRP ledger, has posed a direct challenge to Swift. In fact, since 2018, Ripple's XRP ledger has embarked on functions akin to Swift's, ensuring more rapid and seamless transactions. And I still think they're going to come together and they're going to have to work together. But it's not just Ripple and XRP. It's also Stellar and XLM and IOTA as well. Plus, you got to look at the other ISO coins. XDC is coming together now with Swift because you're going to have payments inside of digital trade. Hedera is also coming on board now in a much bigger way as well through HBAR. But Stellar Lumens and its compatriot IOTA aren't far behind, marking significant milestones in their journey towards Swift integration. Every one of these ISO coins have to come together with Swift so that they can be used for transactions in the future. But I think Ripple is the biggest problem Swift would ever have because Ripple fixes Swift. That's why I said they must work together. So in 2023, banks still take days for wire transfers, while trillions lie dormant. Imagine unlocking that capital with Ripple's on-demand liquidity. Dive into the potential of our portfolio company here. Now, I'm going to play this video. This video puts it into perspective exactly what you're holding. And, you know, we're going into a new financial system. That's why Swift has to work with these cryptocurrency companies. They have to improve the system. They have to make it available for every person on the planet. Level that playing field. And, you know, the banks, they're ready for that. You know, the banks are lagging behind right now. You know how many more customers they would get in the future because of this right here? Take a listen.
there's a huge incentive for these financial institutions to get into gear and use ODL, because they'll be able to take all those pre-funded accounts, take all that dormant capital, as Ripple has explained over the years, and they've used numbers between 10 trillion and $27 trillion in dormant capital that financial institutions can bring home. And that means a lot to these financial institutions. So for anyone that didn't know the Nostro piece of the puzzle to this thing, this is bigger than you may have even imagined. And these banks really want to bring that money back home. So I just want to make that point, because when I speak to people every day, they have no idea that's one of the big benefits of using ODL.
Let me add this. When those banks bring home all that money, whatever trillion or billions that you're talking about, and they have that much more liquidity, what do they do with it? They give more loans. They give more loans to small businesses. They give more loans to individuals because they have the capital, and that improves, the economy outright. So it's almost tragic that it's 2023 pushing 2024 and we're still operating. I would encourage any of the new people to the community to do a wire transfer today. It still takes 5 days for me to do a wire transfer from one account to another sometimes. I did a domestic wire transfer to a client on a settlement that came in, and it was domestic, and it took 4 business days for it to end up in her account, right? So that's kind of obscene when you think about it.
Yeah. Imagine the irony for us, John, that our members wire us funds to invest in a company that can have settlement in 10 seconds or less.
Settlement in 10 seconds or less. That is absolutely game changing. But I like what Johnny Deaton said there. When they unlocked that 10 to $27 trillion, they could then lend that money out to small businesses and individuals. All of a sudden, maybe they can offer better interest rates on savings accounts and checking accounts. It can fix this current financial system right now, because XRP also bridges to fiat as well. XRP can fix the entire financial system. But the reason that we're headed in a different direction is because everyone in the world right now wants a level playing field, and they want a better financial system, a new financial system. And that's why we're headed into CBDCs. Over 90% of central banks are now exploring CBDCs. Ripple's James Wallace expects many more will go into production at some scale within the next several years. And people still don't like the idea of a CBDC. And I'm always one of those people that seem to point out that this could lead to a slavery system in the future. They could shut off your money. They could stop certain types of payments or transactions from going through. But did you know something? They can do that right now. The government can freeze your bank account at any second. Fiat is on fire. Scary times ahead. Plus, they could bail in your money. Think about it. Somebody has millions of dollars in the bank. One day, the bank runs into some problems, decides to lock the door and bail in all that money. You know, I always looked at that as part of the way we will see the wealth transfer in the future, because there's going to be people out there that will never take their paper money over to digital money. And I think there's going to be a time frame in the future where people are definitely going to have to do that, because for a period of time we're going to see digital and paper money run together. In other words, you're going to have that option, but over time they will gradually get rid of paper money. Then we'll be on a full digital system. But I'm not quite sold on the idea that they're going to use CBDCs against us. You know, I always like to give 2 scenarios, and I like to let people think for themselves. On one side, you have the World Economic Forum pushing the idea that you're not going to be able to buy gas or ammunition or guns in the future or anything that's not good for you. But on the other side, think about it. The world runs on money. Everybody spends money on a daily basis. Do you think they're going to stop the flow of money? Of course not. They're going to want as much money flowing around as possible, like they do now. I don't think that's going to change under a CBDC. However, I also don't believe that the World Economic Forum is going to stay in power in the future. I think somebody's going to step in here at some point and say, listen, we're done with the World Economic Forum. You know, we need a much better future ahead of us, not one that's controlled by the elites of the world. But again, we're so early into crypto, we don't know what's going to happen at any moment. I mean, things can change very fast. I really don't care about anyone's predictions or charts for XRP. Why? Because I'll be diamond handling regardless. So I'm either a genius or an idiot. Time will tell. I think anybody who had enough vision to invest in XRP early on, like we are right now, is definitely a genius, because you can see exactly what's going to come in the future. There's no way XRP is going to be sitting around $1 in the future. It doesn't make sense in any way. It's about to unlock $10 to $27 trillion, but yet its price isn't going to change at all. That does not make sense. And, you know, then you got to look at tokenization in the future. Plus, XRP is such a well-rounded cryptocurrency. It's tied to Web3, NFTs that have actual utility and use case. It's tied to healthcare. It's tied to real-world payments that people are going to be making in stores in the future. Everything is pushing ahead so fast. 9 years ago, three visionary developers created a cryptocurrency, digital asset that would change the world forever. On June 2nd, 2012, 100 billion XRP were created. So XRP was created by three visionaries for other visionaries to invest in. That's the way I look at it. You know, if you hold XRP long enough, you might become the first millionaire in your family. You might become the next person that gets that generational wealth, and maybe you go on and build a massive empire off of that. This is the time legends are made. And if you hold XRP long enough till we get to those high numbers, you will be a legend in the future. But, you know, right now we're still at that time where we're waiting for everything to come together. I think the system is almost complete at this point. Look at all the expansion that happened in just 1 year, from last year to this year. And that expansion still continues today. Ripple out there laying all that pipe work for XRP to flow through in the future. Until we get there, though, we gotta stay patient and stay positive. Always expect the unexpected and always be holding XRP. Let's get rich together. With that said, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.